Marriage is important, but I don't think it's necessary. I'm married, but I have friends and I have, you know, people who have partners, lifetime partners and stuff. I don't, the word marriage to me, it's a partnership. So why throw one word into it and make it a big thing? I think society has set it up to where it gives women I mean, I feel like as a woman, it makes it so hard for us um, to be with someone and expect marriage when it's really not necessary, because you can still go on, live life, have a partner, whether it be a man or a woman, have a partnership, take care of the kids, have kids. You know what I mean? You could have kids with a woman now, and that's okay. But I think that what's more important is the partnership and not the marriage.
Why do you think marriage is important? Anybody want to go first? Why do you think marriage is a necessity? I mean, if you do think that it's a necessity.
I say a lot of things. Just having a team, being in a team, being committed, having. I feel like like if you have kids, I think it helps develop like the next generation of life, setting standards for our kids. If you do have kids and you're married, I think it makes it easier because you're mutually invested when you have two people in a marriage. Those are some of the things I think, why marriage is important.
Okay.
For myself, I can't necessarily say that it's important. I just think that it's just something that's traditional and something that we have all seen and brought up on. It's a part of the what God has ordained, if that's what your belief is. So I think that that's something that comes biblically and through tradition, that we want those fairy tale type of things to happen to us, where we watch all these Disney movies and Cinderella movies, but on all actuality, we may not have seen that for ourselves. So I think marriage should be partnership. It should be something that's taken seriously. You have to be committed, and I think most people do it when they feel like they want to be with that one person forever. So they don't really want to look for anyone else. So that's what I think marriage is.
So I think so for women, if they want to have children, that's a reason for them getting married, wanting to stay into a long-term relationship for, raising children. Depending on economic status, that would be another reason that women would enter into a marriage, because it can help, financially as well.
Also, just real quick, I feel like when we're younger, our choices there's so many more choices. But as we get older, especially women, we start to age. And I think, like, for me, it was important um, to be in a relationship with somebody that I know I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, just for, like, everyone's going to get older. We're going to have health issues. Who's going to be there for you, when you have these health issues, or vice versa, or just, building a retirement with somebody and just having a healthy, safe environment. And like I said, everyone does get old, and, whether it's him or her, you're going to have health issues, and just having someone that's committed there that is going to be there by your side is important.
I like that.
Marriage is important, but I don't think it's necessary. I'm married, but I have friends and I have, you know, people who have partners, lifetime partners and stuff. I don't, the word marriage to me, it's a partnership. So why throw one word into it and make it a big thing? I think society has set it up to where it gives women I mean, I feel like as a woman, it makes it so hard for us to be with someone and expect marriage when it's really not necessary, because you can still go on, live life, have a partner, whether it be a man or a woman, have a partnership, take care of the kids, have kids. You know what I mean? You could have kids with a woman now, and that's okay. But I think that what's more important is the partnership and not the marriage. Because you could be in a married, you could be married and still not have a partner. You could be doing everything by yourself.
So the things that you're experiencing, or you've seen be experienced by other married women, do you think that you can get those same experiences with a life partner? What are the differences?
Kind of goes back to what Lisa said, you know, just kind of tradition. And you know, for me, like I set some standards that I, or beliefs that I carry along that I would like my children to carry along. And it's just, you know, you got a little more skin in the game when you're married. You know, it's commitment. It's not as easy to just change your mind versus, you know, life partner. You know, like she said, either as well. But you know, if you're so into me, I'm so into you, why not take the next step to make it legal? Why can't we move forward? Now we both have a little more skin in the game. I can't just get up and go. You know, I'd have to, most times they're gonna want you to do counseling first before they would even let you get divorced. And then there's still gonna be so many steps, and it's just a bigger commitment. It's a harder to get out of. So I just feel like, why not commit?
What is the difference? Like now that you are married, and it doesn't have to be your situation, it could be something that you've observed. Do you think that in the end, a life partnership will be along the same as a marriage? Do you think that is just as good? Or no, there's some more benefits that come along with marriage than life partner, like Felicia suggested?
Well, I agree. I agree with Felicia. I agree that marriage, if you get both, great. But a lot of times people go into marriage thinking that they're going to get that partnership. And that's why it's so important to have that before you go into marriage, because people don't just change overnight. Yeah, there's a learning curve when it comes to marriage, but I do agree with her when she says that when you are married, it's harder for you to just throw in the towel and say, you know what, I'm going to walk away. But when there's just a partnership, they can do that. Um,
Mhm.
However, if somebody loves you enough and wants to be with you and want to make it work, then they're going to be there for you with or without, the title or whatever, the entitlement. Um, it's just with marriage, it's harder to walk away. I guess that's how I feel about it.
Mhm. I agree. One of the things that I was going to say in terms of a lifelong partner, um, it there's an easier flight risk in that situation. So when you know you have an easier way out, sometimes you take it. Whereas in a marriage, I think at times you have, since everything is so intertwined, that it forces you to go back to the drawing board sometimes, because it is going to be more difficult to untangle everything when you have to go through the process of a divorce, as opposed to, and then the penalties of that divorce way much heavier than if you were just in a lifelong relationship and then decided to walk away. It's a less of a hassle, I think. But I'm also
And for me, I would say, again, it goes back, it just depends on who you are as a person. If you're a biblical type of person, if you're not traditional type of person, of course, with marriage, there's a legal bond contract. And with partnership, there isn't. So if a partner feels like, this is not going to work, you guys can easily just sever your ties and go about your business. With marriage, there's a lot that come along with that. If you decide that this is not going to work, you got to worry about your children. You have to worry about finances. You have to worry about a home. You got to worry about so many different things. So do I think lifelong partnership is better than marriage? I really can't say, because I haven't really had a lifelong partner. My marriage, my husband is supposed to be my lifelong partner. So with that being said, there will be ups and downs and things like that may occur. But only thing that makes the difference between the partnership and the marriage is the license. That's the only difference.
So I'm gonna have to give my single 2 cents. I love this conversation because, I've never been married. And so I can't tell you how it feels to be married, but I have been in situations where I thought I found a life partner. And I think that everybody here brought it up. I think it's easier said than done. I mean, I think of it like a job. If you're a temp versus if you're under contract, you're hired. One, you don't get the same benefits if you get any benefits at all. They don't have to give you notice. They could just say, hey, we don't have room for you anymore, or I found somebody better. And I think that that's the problem. And when we're talking about, I think it was Felicia who brought up a great point. You want somebody who's going to have your back, and you're going to have their back, they have your back. And that sounds so great if you can find that loyal individual. Let's just be honest. The grass is always greener on the other side for many people. So when the going gets tough, some people get going if they can. So with that being, and that's even in marriages, So if there's an easy way out, people usually take the easy route. That's just how life works. And that's just from my single, because I would love to have a life partner. I don't have to go through the whole, that was unprofessional. I don't have to go through the whole walk down the aisle and all of that kind of stuff. But once I think about it and I put the pros and the cons in place, I just don't want it to be a situation. And it's for me too. It's not necessarily just him. I don't want to be in a situation where it's an easy way out. I want to like, you know what, I'm going to work this out. I think I'm going to do that on my own. But who knows if there's a situation where I might be like, that's you. It's too stressful. And let's just be honest, you don't have to stick around with a life partner. You just don't. You would love to find somebody who will, but it's just not a guarantee. So that was just,
but you don't have to stick around with anyone who's married either. There's so many marriages they're just like, okay, this is not working and we're gone. If we look at a lot of celebrities, when things are real tough for them, it's easy to be gone. And then they're on to the next one and the next one and the next one. And so, marriage is a struggle. It takes a lot of work, and you have to be determined enough to say, you know what? Is this person worth me fighting for? Is this marriage? Is this worth my health? Is it worth my sanity? Is it worth my children being upset? Like, what parts of it do you feel like you can just keep, and what parts of it you can just let go? Because it's easy I feel like for men, it's easier for them to just up and leave. But for women, we'll stick it out. We'll tough it out. We'll cry and we'll scream and we'll holler and we'll do anything that we can to make a marriage work. I think we make things work sometimes because we don't want the disappointment and the views of other people looking at our marriage like, I told you that marriage wasn't going to work. And I said this and I said that. So sometimes, people look at those things as to why they want to continue on with the marriage and be unhappy.